My roommate's boyfriend's loud snores make me lose sleep every night.
It's nothing a clothespin couldn't fix.
Trigger warning, verbal mistreatment. Okay, I, 24 female, do not even know where to begin. My roommate Claire, they're always trouble, 23 female, is a good friend of mine and has been since college. Her boyfriend Mike, 25 male, is a good guy for the most part. By the way, this comes from a log sawing, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. That's our job. Your job is to comment what you know, and we're going to have a good time here. As OP says, I like him, but it's one of those situations where they're not a good couple. Ugh, is that our situation?
Our situation?
Dude, some comments are like, do they even know each other?
Yeah, they don't know that we're dating. Well, okay.
We're dating, by the way, new people.
Oh, yeah, just for anyone watching, because we're probably going to mention that stuff about that. But I don't know. Some people comment, they're like, they don't even know each other. It's like, we haven't been dating forever. Like, yeah, we're still going to figure out new things about each other. Come on.
They always get in silly fights and are constantly annoying each other. It is weird because separately, they are great, but together, they are not the best couple. I'm super busy during the week with a full-time job, full-time grad school, and hobbies, so I'm usually in bed pretty early. We have a small apartment, but since Mike works close by, he always ends up at our house. It is a little annoying because he's really there almost every night. But since I'm not around too much, basically just there to sleep and eat, I try not to rock the boat. Like I said, I like him, and she's a good friend and a roommate. So I figure, pick your battles. But there is one big issue. He snores so effing loud, like legitimate log Sawyer type. So loud.
Oh, man.
Your dad snores.
Yes.
We'll be watching a movie in the other room, and I'll be like,
He's falling asleep to the TV in the other room.
and I'm thinking, what is happening outside?
Yeah. Literally, he asked me if there's a lawnmower happening outside, and it was like,
no, he didn't.
no, you asked.
Oh, I did? Okay. I thought he asked that.
No, you asked me that, and it was like 9 p.m. or something like that, and I was like, no, that's my dad. He's right over there. He's just sleeping. Yeah, no, classic dad.
Angie snores all the time.
Maybe I'm asleep when I'm doing that, so I don't know. But you definitely snore more than you think.
I hope not. No.
Yes, you do. It's random bursts. It's okay though.
That
Don't
makes me
mind.
sad.
I don't mind. I'm a tough sleeper, so
Good.
hard sleeper. Yeah.
For whatever reason, it is. Wait, time out with the snoring thing. Actually, I don't snore that much. It's like barely, right?
It's like, yeah, it's not consistent.
Is it every other month?
More frequent than that?
No. Anyway, we're going to keep going. For whatever reason, it's just really starting to bug me these last few nights. I usually can ignore it and put on some Netflix or something, but late last night, I could not sleep, and it was getting really frustrated. Do not get in between a queen and her sleep, all right? Don't do it.
True.
I've done it before. It's not good. You can maybe get by with it for a couple of days after that. Don't want to mess with it anymore.
Figure out your sleep apnea or whatever. Get some sort of sleep apnea mask. Figure out those snores.
I decided I should say something because he's really at our house all the time. And it is definitely not the first time his snoring has kept me up. I opened her bedroom door and said, "Hey, Mike, sorry, but your snoring is super loud." And that was it. I did not berate him. I know it's not something you can really control. Plus, he is overweight, so that definitely does not help. It stopped, and I thought that was the end of it. Claire leaves earlier than I do, and Mike usually sleeps in. When I got up in the morning, I was just minding my own business, making my breakfast, and prepping my lunch. I do not think I've ever seen Mike get up when I'm up in the morning, but this morning he came into the kitchen while I was milling around. I was surprised to see him and jokes, "Good morning, sunshine," and he started screaming at me.
Wow.
Okay, not joking, straight up yelling at me. He called me a witch, and I was super rude and condescending and said how disrespectful it was for me to wake up to him when I was doing the same thing to him now. Apparently, me making breakfast in my own home and waking him up is an issue. All right, I will say, I feel like the way you told him that could have been worded a little differently. What he did was completely wrong and should never have said that.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I could see I would wonder how you really did say it, because you can text or you could type out the words for us to read what you said, but your tone is important and hard to say here. I feel like it's possible for it to be like chill if you'd make a joke about it. And you're like, dude, your snoring is so loud. Like, figure that out. What's going on up there in that nose of yours or something, you know? But that could obviously, like, I'm assuming either way it wasn't that bad. Whatever it wasn't enough to elicit this reaction.
If my roommate Alex smelled bad, how would you approach him?
I would tell you, and I would tell you to do it, because you're the one that lives there. And if you chose not to, then I couldn't really do anything about it.
I feel like that's the way OP should have went. Probably say something to her roommate, and then the roommate say something to the boyfriend.
I guess I could see that.
I know it's a little different dynamic because you don't live there.
Yeah.
At my apartment, but it's one of those sensitive things where you have to, hey,
yeah,
this is my situation. This is one thing. What can we do to figure this out?
Right.
Instead of, hey, you snore really loud and then leave. That looks bad. Does that look bad, guys? Tell me.
Yeah, let us know. I appreciate the directness of it, and I appreciate her going straight to the source. But yeah, maybe there's something else we could do to make it a little more sensitive.
I was super freaked out and immediately just left. He's a big guy, and Claire has mentioned he has a temper. So I just wanted to get the heck out of there. I do not know what to do. I do not even know how to broach the subject with Claire. I'm staying late to do some homework, but also because I don't even want to go home. How should I even approach this? My mind is so jumbled, I do not even know how to formulate the right sentences. We have comments. Big scary guy. Find a big scary guy friend. Have him break the news to him.
Get your own big scary guy. That's a good idea. I think, if you come home, start recording everything just in case. You can delete recordings if you need to, but record things just in case he blows up at you again. It's definitely a problem. You need to feel safe in your own home. You need to have proof of why you feel unsafe so that you can get this guy out of there.
And apartment leases have a thing where people can't stay consecutively for like 7 days, 14 days, something like that.
Depending on the place, yeah.
Depending on the place. You could probably look into that.
Yeah, sure thing.
That happened in my college dorms a lot.
Oh, yeah.
People would stay for a number of periods, and one roommate would get fed up with it. So they talked to the RA, and the RA would have to like, hey, man, you can't stay here.
Right. Yeah, it's a thing. Some places don't even allow overnight guests at all.
Relevant comments. What are you doing?
What?
She's snoring over here, guys.
I'm not snoring. I just
Are
did
you
a
not
big
entertained?
Yawn. I just did a yawn. Doesn't mean anything.
Innocuous Terror says, check your lease. There's likely a clause with the number of nights or consecutive nights that you or your roommate can have overnight guests. I would suggest setting up a time to discuss with your roommate and let her know that not only is her boyfriend, who is not on the lease, a disturbance to your peace, but he screamed at you, made you feel threatened in your own home. Tell her that you are no longer comfortable with him staying the night, especially when she is not home. Opie says, thanks for putting it this way. She's a great person and a friend, so I'm pretty sure she will be on my side. It's just such a bummer because I did like Mike. He was cool, and this is the definition of uncool. Thanks. Update 2 days later. They break up.
You think that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope so. That's an uncool move. You don't want an uncool guy to be your boyfriend.
I yell at people on the basketball court because that's just how loud I have to be in order for everyone to hear me. And that's the only place. I think it depends
on what you're saying, too. I mean, that.
I'm like, box out.
Yeah.
Why is no one, who's on him?
Yeah, see, that's like.
Get on a man.
That's fine. That's cool.
Okay, wow. So a lot has happened since my last post. Aliens showed up at my door and stole my dog.
Whoa, that's crazy.
You guys are listening. That was fake. First things first. I got a lot of heat for entering her room without knocking. Dang, people, it was not like that at all. I literally did the 2 or 3 courtesy knocks, opened the door of all 3 inches so I could say something, and left. It was not like I barged in to scream at them. I did not even go inside. I'm more worried about what she said rather than how she did it.
Oh, okay. You are? I would be worried about how she said it. If she just opened the door and was just like, you're snoring too loud, then that's not cool. But if she opened the door and was like, you're snoring so loud.
Oh, yeah.
Please stop. But she didn't say please stop. We know that.
That's a hard one. If you had to give uncomfortable, I guess, advice to someone, or not even advice, what would you say? Uncomfortable
critiques, I guess.
Critiques, whatever.
Yeah.
You have to say something uncomfortable to someone. What's the best way to go about it?
Yeah, please let us know.
I have something uncomfortable to tell Angie after this, and I don't know how to do it.
Please let him know fast. I want to know.
If I didn't open the door a bit, he would have not heard me. Besides, she is one of my best friends, and we have lived together before. This is not some Craigslist roommate with whom I have no relationship with. So this was not some extreme breach of privacy. I have tried earplugs, but I cannot sleep with them in comfortably. Yeah, no, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I fell asleep with AirPods in one time, and I had a dream that my ears were full of like earwax, and I couldn't get them unclean.
Earplugs are for the sawmill. Literally, the only way to get someone to stop snoring is to wake them up, and since I am not in bed with them and cannot tap or nudge them, that was the only way I could do it. After months of dealing with it, trying to be cool about it, and multiple night after night sleepovers, I was a bit fed up with my third roommate who does not even pay rent, keeping me up. I have done the texting thing. I've done the accidentally knock on the wall thing. It is that bad that I have tried numerous things to get him to stop, but he knows he snores really loud, but does not wear the strips or do anything to help control it. I know it is something you cannot control, but what am I supposed to do if I can't sleep at night? So that's that. I regret nothing. I am not super rude for courtesy knocking and slightly opening my close friend's door to let her boyfriend know his overstayed welcome snoring was bothering me for the up 10th time. Whatever. Anyway, I am happy to report this is a very positive update. Oh. Luckily, things happened pretty quickly because it was a fairly urgent issue. I ended up staying super late at work to finish some homework, which was a good thing because I got a ton of stuff done. It also gave me some time to cool off, gather my thoughts, and figure out what to say. I gave her a call because I thought texting would be a bit complicated. I wanted to ask if we could talk about something when we got home, and she said she already knew what I was going to say, which made me nervous. I said this was not a conversation I wanted to have completely over the phone, but to hear me out. I explained what happened and said something like, "Look, Claire, I love you and want you to be happy, but I cannot have Mike in our home anymore. He really scared me this morning." She immediately started crying and asking me to come home, so I left right that instant.
Wow. Oh boy.
Did Mike have something else to say to someone?
Are they even like together anymore? Did Mike say something to Claire? All scary? Is Claire gonna finally admit that Mike's a scary guy?
When I got there, she said he had texted her earlier saying weird stuff about how we got into an argument. There was no argument because I did not really say anything. He said I was out of line. She was going to text me about it, but knew I was super busy and figured she would just ask me when I got back from work. Once she heard how bad it was, she felt awful. I guess he has really been verbally aggressive to her lately as well. Like I said, she has mentioned he has a short fuse and a temper, but she did a good job of hiding how bad it really was. Apparently, it had gotten really bad, which made me start to cry because I love her dearly, and it made me really sad to hear how much she was hurting. She totally agreed he had overstayed his welcome, but also had no idea how I felt because I didn't say anything. It was my bad that I internalized my anger instead of being honest about it. But I am glad that was not a point of contention. We did not have to compromise because she already knew she wanted out. This was just the final straw. All right.
Okay.
Looking back at it, it looked like there was a little bit more happening between their relationship if he felt that comfortable yelling at you.
Totally. I mean, yeah, if he's that comfortable yelling at a stranger, essentially, I mean, they're not strangers, but someone that he's not close
His
with.
girlfriend's roommate.
Yeah. Then he's definitely going to be comfortable yelling at his girlfriend. So I'm glad that they can be honest with each other now.
I think you got that backwards.
Nope. I said what I said. If he's comfortable yelling at people he's not close with, then he's comfortable yelling at people he's close with.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But it should be backwards. You shouldn't be comfortable yelling at people that you're close with, you know? But people like that, obviously, with this Mikey boy. What's his name? Mike, right? Or
Mike,
Chris?
Yeah, Mike,
Okay, yeah.
I don't know, Chris. Insert any name you want. I don't even care. I forgot his name. That's how much I care about this guy.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm glad that Claire and OP have had that connection now, and hopefully Claire can leave that relationship and they will be there for each other. Glad OP can be there for Claire while she's leaving. I'm glad that Claire has understood OP when she was honest about her feelings. Girl power. Get Mike out of there, or whatever his name is.
Whatever, dude. We talked for about 2 hours about a plan of attack and how she needed to get out of the relationship. I was glad we could talk openly and that she felt comfortable discussing it with me. I knew they had issues, but I had no idea it was this bad. Apparently, there had been lots of yelling and very little happiness. It was her first serious relationship, so she assumed this was normal after being together for a while. She was also embarrassed and did not want to discuss it with me because she knew I would worry, which was absolutely true, even though I wish I had known. She made a plan to meet him in a public spot and break up with him. I told her I would support her in any way she needed, so she asked if I could drop her off and pick her up. I was apprehensive because I did not want to run into Mike or make things worse, but I did it because that's what she wanted. Yesterday evening, I dropped her off near a coffee shop and ran errands nearby while waiting for her call. After an hour, she called me and asked me to pick her up. She sounded fine. And if you sound fine right now, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, search up OK Storytime for more crazy stories just like this one on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. We got a little bit left here. I like this rule.
I like this too.
I'm about to give you a rule here.
Oh, never mind.
Here's the rule that no matter if you've been in a relationship for the first time or a relationship for the 100th time or in a 20, 30-year marriage, if you and your partner are going through something, imagine that happening to your friend. And would you want your friend to be treated that way?
Yeah.
Do the friend rule.
I like that one too.
Mm-hmm.
I like that too. A similar one that I like is like, imagine if you're in this relationship with this person, you're not sure if how they're treating you is great. Imagine you marrying that person, having kids, and then those kids watching that as a healthy relationship. Because they're going to think that whatever the relationship they see is like normal. So what about your kids being in that kind of relationship?
Yeah.
That too. All of it. Best friend.
That's a lot more steps, though.
It is a lot more steps. Best friend works.
No, yours is good. Yours is good. There's multiple ways of doing this.
Yeah.
I think Angelina and I are going to make a program called How to Date.
Are we?
One class, and it's that.
And it's just that rule. Just take very excessive notes on that one rule.
Boom.
Sure.
There we go. All right. I picked her up down the street, and we drove home. She said it went surprisingly well, and that he felt bad about everything, which shocked me, which is also a manipulation tactic.
Aw, you feel bad now that I'm about to break up with you? Aw.
He agreed it had not been working out, and although he tried to plead to get her back, she was not having it.
Good.
I was honestly shocked. I did not expect him to be calm or level-headed. I was still freaked out about how it happened to me. Her situation was much more serious, and I was not holding my breath for an apology. Honestly didn't care. Even though Mike seemed okay with the breakup, we notified the landlord just in case he ever returned to cause problems. I truly hope he does not, but better safe than sorry. I'm just glad she's okay, that I don't have to deal with his craziness and loud snoring anymore. I slept like a baby last night without him there and plan on sleeping like a baby again tonight.
Yay! Good ending.
Yes!
Yes.
Put down your sleep hacks down below. I want to hear them.
Ooh, what would your sleep hack be?
Melatonin.
just any medication. Melatonin, bugs.
Last night I slept good.
Me too. A good fan. I like
a good massage. You had a good massage.
I had a good massage before bed. That's true. That's helpful. I like a bunch of pillows. I sleep on my side, and you got me on putting a pillow in between your legs. It's good for your knees and for your hips, and then also in between your arms, so you're not all scrunched up. You can still lay out all.
I need 4 pillows to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Legs, bottom of head, top of head, and holding. But if you're around, I don't need the one to hold. Actually, sometimes I do because you get really hot, and I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, that's true. I need space sometimes.
All right. Final comments. Luna Berry says, that went better than expected. Communication can prevent or end a lot of issues. I'm glad it worked out for you and your roommate, OP. OP says, I'm so happy. Not only is my buddy out of a bad relationship, but I get better sleep. We are hoping this is a lesson for Mike as well. Everyone wins. Yeah.
Hopefully.
My angle with Mike is that since he was in public, he had an image to keep up, and he doesn't want to yell at his girlfriend in public.
That's why it's a good idea to break up with people in public, especially when they're cuckoo like this guy.
That's why I avoid being in public with Angelina, because if that happens, she could pull the trigger anytime. Life hacks, everyone.
There you go, life hacks.
That's the end of that story. We got another one coming up right now.
Yup, we sure do. I refuse to support my roommate's desire to have kids.
Shouldn't everyone have kids?
I met Amy my freshman year of college. We were roommates and got along great. She was an only child raised by her parents, Andy and Amanda, in a small town a few states away. As we got to know each other, I heard about Ben, who was her best friend. Ben, who was also an only child, grew up next door to her with his parents, Bob and Beth. By the way, this comes from Am I the Crazy One, directly from the r/OKstorytime subreddit.
Oh, one of our own.
One of our own, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit, and you can submit your own stories. But I'm Angie.
I'm Riley.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers.
We
just
don't.
know what we would do in these situations. So let us know what you would do in the comments. OP says, their families were super close and they did everything together growing up. Their families were so close that they even did holidays and family vacations together. She'd often joke that he was almost like her brother, and since Ben was 11 months older than Amy, he really did treat her like a little sister, being protective of her and checking in on her and talking regularly.
Aw.
I met Ben the same week I met Amy because he went to a neighboring college in the same city and he came over to visit regularly. He was really nice and the three of us got along well, and we all would do things together when we weren't in class. Now, Amy and I lived together all through college. Our second year, we moved into an apartment off campus. Ben actually found us the apartment because it was in his building, 2 floors up from his place, that he shared with his roommate, Clint. Their bachelor pad was as you'd expect.
Dirty.
So when
Beer-filled.
Probably. So when we moved and we'd all hang out, they'd usually come to our place. We had a great time and made some of the best memories.
All right. I feel like I'm about to do that with a roommate.
Yeah, make all the best memories.
Well, someone's looking for an apartment now. I'm like,
Okay.
yo, we got an apartment in my apartment complex. Just
Yeah.
come check it out.
Yeah. Are they interested?
I think with the amount of rent it costs, it probably would be.
Pretty nice, huh?
Yeah.
At some point, freshman year, Ben asked me out and we went on a few dates. We kissed a couple of times, but there was no chemistry and we mutually decided to continue being friends.
What? You can kiss someone and still be friends with them?
I guess.
Okay.
Why are you interested
Interested in what?
in kissing someone but still being friends with them?
Oh no, I have kissed someone and we're now just friends.
Like
I don't talk.
Keon?
I don't talk to her anymore though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So not Keon then.
Not Keon. No.
Not
no.
Keon. Okay, got
Okay, you can do that. I forgot.
it. But anyway.
Sorry, that must be hard for you.
No, it's
No.
okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Okay, good.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I was kind of joking.
Oh,
it's
okay. Me too. Yeah.
Amy was bummed because she thought we made a cute couple, but life went on. I didn't date much because I was focusing on school and seemed to have a problem where I'd get really awkward when I found someone attractive. Ben would date off and on, but nothing was serious enough to stick. Amy casually dated a few guys in college, but they never really went anywhere, and Clint was kind of an F-boy, and we got tired of trying to learn a new girl's name every week, so eventually we created the rule that unless someone's partner/fling had been around for at least a month, the group didn't meet them.
Ooh.
As a result, when we hung out, it was usually just the 4 of us. It was a perfect setup. There was really no odd wheels or awkward, sorry, what's your name again? Situations.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's nice. I forget people's names so fast.
She does.
I do. I need to meet you like 3 times and have a conversation with you each of those 3 times.
What's my aunt's name?
Which one?
Olivia mom.
Shonda.
Yep. All right. Cool.
Let's go.
And she has met her exactly 3 times.
We didn't see her that last time,
Oh, we
actually.
didn't.
I probably met her maybe 3 times.
You passed.
Yeah, I passed. I didn't even need to meet her 3 times. I did it. When Ben and Clint graduated, we all went out and made a night of it. There was a nice dinner with all of us and the parents. Clint's parents, Bob, Beth, Andy, and Amanda. Then the 4 of us went out for drinks, dancing, and an after party at our place that included drinking games. Eventually, we ended up playing a combo strip poker / truth or dare game.
Oh, fun.
Nice. Now, I'm pretty sure that if I told you that wasted, half-unclothed college students playing a game of dare ended up turning spicy, you probably wouldn't be surprised, so here we are. It started off pretty innocently, with a kiss here or an embarrassing lap dance there, and then it turned a little less innocent.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Clint was too afraid to go anywhere near Amy because I think he knew that Ben would not approve, especially with his reputation of running through girls faster than he changed his socks. So Ben and Amy ended up hooking up by the end of the night, and Clint and I did as well. Wow.
Wow.
Not innocent at all.
So Ben and Amy did it.
Ben
After
and Amy
all
did
these
it.
years.
Yeah. Yeah. So Clint stayed away from Amy.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it was bound to happen.
I guess so. Yeah.
You ever watch Friends?
Oh, yeah.
This is literally Friends.
True. The next morning, in the sober light of day, we all stumbled into the living room and voted for the guys to grab us breakfast and electrolytes while we picked up the disaster that was our apartment. While cleaning, Amy told me that she and Ben had been up early talking, and they had both had deep feelings for each other, but had always been too scared to cross that line. And now that they wanted to see where it all went.
All right.
Wow. What a funny story to tell someone about how your relationship started.
So we were like brother and sister for most of our lives.
Yeah.
But when we got college,
Yeah.
we hooked up.
We played a game,
Hmm.
and then we boinked.
Now I see why you would be a little cautious about your friend having kids with this guy. Because
I totally forgot that that's what the title said. We haven't even gotten there yet.
because they would have to tell this story of how their parents got married. I would not want to tell that story.
That's true. Then I guess you would just go with the story of how you met, which is probably way more innocent, rather than how you started dating.
Nah, you gotta tell the whole thing.
Not to your children.
Yeah, how else are they supposed to know?
They don't need to know. That's the point. Opie continues. Cool. Great. Congratulations. I was very excited for them. Best friends turning into a relationship. Probably a better basis than, hey, we met at a bar one night. I was a little worried that it would change the group dynamic, but I wasn't about to worry about something that hadn't happened yet. And they both seemed really happy, so I was happy for them. When the guys got back and we were all eating, Ben smiled and asked how my night with the famous Clint went. I giggled and said that it was fine, but that I could see why he didn't have many repeat dates. Oh, wow.
Oh no, he's a one-trick wonder.
Oh, no. Then I felt bad when Clint asked what I meant with a rather sad/hurt look on his face. Oh, man.
Dude, low-key, Clint, I feel like you need the feedback. So
Yeah.
let's take this with a gracious heart.
Yeah, I think if he's been going through girls, but he's not meaning to, then yeah, he's going to need to know why.
Oh, it was the thumb thing. Oh, okay.
Oh, God. You don't need to do that.
So with the thumb thing.
No, you don't need. Don't go into details.
That's whenever you
I'm
put
gonna
the
read
thumb.
OP's. I pointed out that while the intimate stuff was pretty mind-blowing, both the night before and that morning, heyo, he then gave me a high five and said, "Good game," before getting redressed and looking for breakfast.
Bro!
Which left the encounter a little awkward and reminded me that I was one of many, making it an experience that I wasn't longing to repeat.
Oh, it's because when he was practicing with his boys, that's what he would do at the end.
With his voice. Yeah, definitely.
So he's just not romantic.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah, okay.
And maybe that romance is what would keep someone there longer.
And he knows that, and he feels like if he is romantic with someone, it might stay longer, and he's not ready.
Riley's posing for a book cover right now.
My smart readers, how was that?
Let
Would
us
you
know.
buy that cover? How smart readers, how important is the cover of the book?
Let us know. He was pretty quiet for a while, but we eventually talked one-on-one. Apparently, he had liked me for a long time, but felt awkward talking about it because he knew how people looked at him, and he had panicked in the morning because he wasn't sure how I felt about it. Then he asked if he could take me on a real date with no expectations of how it would end, and that he'd be a perfect gentleman. And he was. Let me cut to the chase. We are now married and have 3 kids with a 4th on the way. What?
What is happening here?
What? I'm sorry.
Are we watching a movie right now?
You sure did cut right to the chase.
Holy cow.
That was a lot more cutting than I thought was going to happen.
He was just looking for the right girl, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
This happens, though. This happens.
It totally does.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
it's a good thing, but that was a way bigger jump than I thought it was going to be.
I didn't think Clint, who never changes his socks, would marry you and have kids with you.
Sure.
He doesn't change his socks.
That's not quite what was said.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. So
He hooks up with girls more times than he changes his socks.
it just shows you how many girls he's getting with.
Or how often he changes his socks.
Okay, that's true. That's true. If he never changes his socks, he's the urgin Mary.
No, he's got to have one down.
But what
He's
if
got to have 2.
But
He's got to have 2.
I'm saying if he never changes his socks.
I'm
Oh
not
my
getting
God.
into this.
Whatever. After the guys graduated, they got jobs nearby, and as we paired off, there was eventually a shuffling of apartments. I moved in with Clint, and Ben moved in with Amy. Our final year of college was a blast, and as our graduation came, we made plans for another big family dinner, and then we all planned a short vacation to Mexico. Wow.
Oh, this is so fun.
This is so fun. We're also not even halfway through this story, by the way. So
there's time for everything to crash.
yeah, sadly. So graduation comes. We walk across the stage. We do all the pictures and things. But before one of the pictures, Ben gives Amy a hug and kiss. Click, click, pictures taken. But the parents get really quiet. The entire atmosphere changed in an instant. Now, Amy and Ben hadn't told their parents that they had been dating for the last year because they wanted to see how things went and enjoyed the privacy of their relationship before bringing their families into it.
Oh, because being in that college bubble's nice.
And OP continues, because they had been raised together and their parents were all best friends, they didn't want to let them in on what was going on until they knew the relationship would work out.
Okay. Conspiracy theory?
Okay.
Their parents were swingers. That's actually his sister.
I hope that's not true.
Well, why do they always go on family vacations together?
For their fams are besties. That's what would happen with this couple, OP and Clint and Amy and Ben, if they had
How
kids.
did both of their relationships start, though? That one faithful night when everyone was playing a little innocent game of poker.
Oh my god.
That's what it is, bro.
Dude, I hope not.
I'm calling it.
Because
I'm
how
calling
did
it
that?
from here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's find out.
And if they approved, they wouldn't have been quiet. They'd be like, "Oh, interesting. I didn't know that."
They'd be like,
They would be like,
whoa. Yeah.
"We have to tell them the truth now."
Oh my god. Oh my god. So, Amy and I finished up pictures and off to dinner we went. I went with my parents and Clint into our car. Amy and Ben went with all their parents in the other. When we met at the restaurant, the atmosphere was still weird and the parents seemed worried and Amy and Ben seemed annoyed and upset. In the bathroom, Amy told me that the parents were all asking a million questions and getting really personal. Ben's parents told them they couldn't support the relationship, while Amy's parents went a step further and forbid them from dating, stating that them dating would damage the friendship between both families when they break up. Oh God. Ben pointed out that he and Amy were grown adults and couldn't be forbidden from anything. And then he told both sets of parents that he was sorry that they felt that way, but they would continue to date and hoped everyone could someday come to terms with the relationship. The dinner was so uncomfortable that my parents eventually asked if they should go and we could meet up later. But Amy begged them to stay because it was keeping her parents and Ben's parents from asking more intrusive questions. When the dinner was over, the four of us were making our plans to go out. Amy and Ben said goodbye to their parents, promising to talk the next day when everyone had a chance to process things. Overall, we had a fun night, and we're excited for our trip the next night. The next day, Clint and I spent time with my family, and Ben and Amy had their parents over to their apartment for a talk. When we met Ben and Amy at the airport for our trip, something was clearly up, but nobody was talking.
Oh, I'm about to be right.
I think you might be.
I think I am, dude.
Amy wouldn't tell me what was going on, and Ben told Clint that he didn't want to talk about it when Clint asked. Everything started off with that weird atmosphere from before, but after a day or two, we were back to our usual group dynamic. By the end of our trip, it was like nothing weird had ever happened, okay? Our last night, Ben proposed to Amy on the beach. Whoa!
Oh.
Okay, so maybe not then. Ben proposed to Amy on the
Or-
beach.
Ben was like, "This is my parents' fault, not my fault, and I'm gonna stay with the person I love."
Oh my god, they're just going with it. Clint said Ben told him about the proposal months before it happened, and he'd been searching for the right ring for a while. Amy was so happy she was crying and asked me to be her maid of honor, which I accepted immediately. Cut to weeks later when we were talking about wedding plans, and Amy tells me she and Ben are eloping because they didn't want any interference from their parents who were adamantly against them getting married. I suggested everyone going to therapy to try and work out the situation and have a nice neutral place to discuss things where a mediator would keep things calm. But Amy said it wouldn't happen. Finally, Amy told me what happened with the parents the morning of the trip. Okay, we're gonna find out. Oh boy.
This is something a counselor cannot help with.
Amy's parents, Andy and Amanda, and Ben's parents, Bob and Beth, had all met in their early 20s when they lived next door to each other. So far, a repeat of our situation. both couples had moved from other states and didn't know anyone in the area, so the couples became close.
How close?
As they got to know one another, the couples became non-monogamous and would regularly switch things up in the partner department.
I freaking called that.
Oh my God.
As soon as they said they got quiet, I called them.
Because
Full court shot right there.
at the beginning too, they were like, oh yeah, they're like only 11 months apart in age. They're like brother and sister. Like brother and sister. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. From the sound of it, this arrangement was still going on at the time of this conversation. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. The parents were concerned that Amy and Ben's relationship would strain the parents' relationship, causing a rift in what they called their family unit, which is why both families did absolutely everything together. Their parents also said that they raised Amy and Ben together as siblings, so it was uncomfortable seeing them dating, and because they couldn't 100% be sure that they weren't related. Oh no! For a second there, I thought that you were like kind of off because it was just about their relationship, like the parents' relationship being awkward. But if they're not 100% sure that they're not related, I wouldn't want to get engaged right away after that.
But it also plays this weird thing in your mind of, I have been so close to this person. They were like my sister, but they never were. But this is the closest person I have ever been with. And I love them so much. And this sounds like their first serious relationship. What else are you supposed to tell someone? And as soon as you tell a young couple you aren't supposed to be together, what is that couple going to do, Angie?
I mean, yeah, they're going to want to be together, but if
against any odds, against the world, you have fortified them to stay together forever now.
Well, I don't know if it's against all that. I think if you forbid someone from being together, I think they're not going to go against Game of Thrones type fun. I don't think it's going to be against that. I think that will be a condition for a lot of people.
I don't know. Now seeing this, who knows what the household growing up
If you and I were going to get married and I found out that our parents were boinking with each other and we weren't 100% sure that we were siblings, I don't know if I could do it.
Okay,
I don't think I could marry
change
you.
that we were 19 or 20 in this situation, not the age we are now. And this is our first relationship together.
Still?
And I'm the closest person you've ever been with.
I don't think I'd be able to do it.
I'm not saying I would be doing it, but that is the circumstances that this couple is in.
I get the confusion that people might have, but oh my gosh.
Okay, hear me out. Parents are boinking, but we are deeply in love with each other. Toss a coin. Bing. Get a DNA test. See if we're related. If we're not related, are we still getting married?
If we're not related, getting married for sure. If we're not related, yes. Our parents can deal with that.
But if we are related, we can't get married.
No.
Okay.
I think legally, I don't think you can get married.
Well,
in certain states,
I mean,
I
it just depends on the birth certificate, not the DNA test.
Oh
They don't do
really?
DNA tests anymore. They used to do DNA tests. Like in the South, they did DNA tests all the time.
You had to.
Because you didn't know.
Well, because it's just not safe, too, for kids.
That's why we have the title of the story.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We haven't even gotten to the title of the story yet. Holy crap. After Amy told me all of this, I was dumbfounded, and I don't think I spoke for 10 plus minutes. What could I say? There were questions. There were concerns. There were facts, but I couldn't get anything organized enough in my head to say anything. This made Amy upset with me because she thought I was judging her, but when I could find my words, I explained that I was processing and trying to figure out where to start. My questions went something like this. Okay. How are you feeling about all this information? Mad at my parents. They've made a mess of things, but I loved my childhood and wouldn't change a thing. So, I don't know. Are you concerned that you are related? We were at first, but we had been dating for a year when we found this out. And ultimately, it didn't change anything. We couldn't unsleep with each other, and we still love each other. We may never know if we are related. So you're not going to find out if you're related? Nope. What if you want to have kids? We will adopt.
Okay.
I'm sure there were more questions, but those were the highlights.
Oh, wow. I get why they wouldn't want to find out.
Yeah, they'd probably just be terrified. They probably just don't want to know. But you gotta know.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you?
You gotta know if you're boinking your brother.
Question. If you could look in the future right now to see if we get married, would you look?
if we get married or at our DNA tests?
No. If we got married, would you look in the future to see if we got married or not right now and you have the choice?
No.
You wouldn't look?
I would not look.
That's probably the same situation they're in.
I disagree.
You disagree?
I think that's a completely
disagree.
different situation. If I'm going to find out something about my future, a huge part of my future versus my relations to people. Because then
but I feel like if they knew if they were related, it would ruin it and they wouldn't get married.
And that's probably good. Maybe they shouldn't get married if they're related.
But they're so close to each other.
I know, but
and this is probably the best case scenario for them.
I get
It's their parents' fault. Is it going to be their fault too?
Their parents really screwed them over. That sucks.
Wow.
That sucks. They screw each other and then they screw their kids over.
I'm not defending incest.
No.
I'm just playing devil's advocate to look into the minds of this couple.
Okay, and I understand that you're doing that, and I need everyone else to understand that that's what he's doing.
Because first love,
being
first love with someone is such a passionate feeling.
Sure.
And that's where they're at right now.
That is where they're at. That's their mindset.
And they have had this kind of love for each other for a long time.
Well, I mean, they've only been dating for a year before finding this out.
But before that, they were very close.
I mean, I guess.
Do you remember your elementary school crush? I remember my elementary school crush.
Yeah.
It took me till high school to get over her.
Yeah, I get that.
And they're still in contact with each other, and they're still on good vibes.
It's just a crush. It's not like love.
I thought it was my first love.
Well, that's very sweet. I didn't.
Well.
But yeah, Riley's not defending incest. That's what's happening. No.
I'm not from Alabama. I'm from North Carolina, guys. Now, if they were second cousins, maybe.
No. When I told Clint who was to be the best man, he sat quiet for a second and then looked at me with a straight face and said, "You know I love them, but don't you get any ideas. I'm not sharing." Like, to be like their parents?
Yeah, to be swings.
Got it. Oh my God.
Because, like, I would be freaking out because Clint's like, that's how their relationship started.
Yeah, right?
And that one faithful poker night.
Yeah.
Because it could have went either way.
Honestly, it could have.
Clint could have been with Amy. And
It's
you
true.
could have been with Ben OP.
The only reason Clint wasn't stayed away with Amy
was because of Ben.
Because of Ben, yeah.
Could have went either way. And then one day, you guys could be in the same situation.
Oh, God.
I wouldn't hang out late at night with him anymore. Oh, it's 8 p.m. We got to go to sleep. See you guys.
It was the perfect comic relief for a pretty heavy situation. Ultimately, Amy and Ben got married. It was a beautiful wedding in the Caribbean. Andy, Amanda, Bob, and Beth did not attend, and the relationship had been strained for a long time. The relationship did get better when Ben and Amy explained that they couldn't turn back time to undo what had been done, dating before knowing everything, and explained that given the genetic concerns, if they decide to have kids, they'll adopt. There wasn't really anything the parents could do but accept this, as Ben and Amy were adults and not kids. Admittedly, this entire situation was weird, but there's no proof that they were related or not related, so everyone just let life go on as it had been before we knew anything.
I'm going to be for real with you. If this happened to my friends and I was this close to them,
yeah,
I'm going to be getting a little bit of blood, a hair. I don't care. I'm going to find out the answer.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure this out. It's got to happen. I can't live with this unknown.
I don't think I could. It's only a year. Because, I mean, I'm just also a big voucher of, you need to be together for a while before getting married anyway.
They knew each other, though.
Yeah, but,
they knew each other more than 3 years.
I mean, I guess that is true. They knew each other since they were children, but,
they're brother and sister.
They've known each other since they were 11 months apart. Because they were raised by the same 4 parents. This is a crazy story. Oh, my God. This is one of our own, may I remind you. My goodness. Ben and Amy have been happily married for years. They live an hour or so away, and we see them often. But recently, we've been getting a weird vibe from them.
Oh, no. They want kids.
We invited them over for a weekend several times, and they kept randomly canceling. Finally, I wrote an email to Amy explaining that I missed her and wanted to talk because I felt like something was driving a wedge and I wanted to fix things, but I couldn't if I didn't know what was going on. She wrote back and asked if they could come the next weekend, and we started planning. Ben and Amy came, and after dinner the first night, they let us know that Ben's dad, Bob, was in kidney failure and was looking for a donor. Long story short, neither Ben or Amy were a match. Furthermore, they found out that Bob is not related to either of them, making Ben and Amy's half siblings by Andy, Amy's dad.
This
It's confirmed.
is hilarious.
Oh my God.
Because they were avoiding it at any possible way.
Yeah.
And over time,
Yeah.
they got their
The
answer.
universe just gave him a situation.
Dad, I can donate for you. Let me go
Yeah.
see. Not compatible.
Yeah.
Amy, hoping.
Yeah.
I can donate for you. Not compatible.
Which is kind of funny because Amy would have to, I mean, is that a thing that the donor has to be like
Same kind
related
of like
to?
same blood.
Okay.
And you get your blood from your father.
Okay.
Your blood type from your father.
Got it.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just kind of funny that Amy would at least, like, just her having to see if she could donate her kidney would be an admission that, like, yeah, it might be your son or your daughter. We might be related. Oh my God.
Man. Bob, you're 0 for 2, my dude. And you're not getting a kidney. Dang, that must have been a sad day for Bob there. Ben's dad. Or so-called dad. Because he didn't have a kid. Neither of those were his kid. And he can't get a kidney.
Okay, but they would have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Neither of them were his kid, and he didn't have a kidney transplanter.
Yeah, bad day for Bob. I need to go back really quick
Why?
because I need to see. Like, I'm thinking if they have same mom, different dads. How did they ever think that they're not related? I missed that little
Because
bit.
the perfect scenario is that Ben's dad and Ben's mom had a kid together, and
Yeah.
it made Ben. And then Amy's parents were separate from that equation, had a kid. So that's the perfect scenario. But whenever you put, a couple and make it 4, there is that complication of like, oh, that mom was with this person,
So then, but then if Amanda, who was Amy's mom, and I guess also Ben's mom, if Amanda had 2 kids, Ben was not raised by Amanda, technically. I mean, they all kind of raised together, right?
So both women got pregnant. So those women, whenever they had kids, stayed in that household. So if Amanda's mom,
I see.
we can
Okay.
cut this out.
Same dad, different moms.
Same dad, yeah.
Just the complicated relationships here.
Goodness gracious.
So has this affected their relationship? Not at all, because, and I quote, "We still love each other the same as if we didn't know." I don't think it's about love, guys.
We're in the denial stage right now, guys.
Yeah, we really are. We really are. Then Amy tells us that every time they come to visit, they see us with our kids and it makes them want their own family. And now, with Bob being sick, they want kids before he's gone. I asked about adopting, and they explained that now that they know for sure that they're half siblings, their marriage is considered legally void and that they don't think they'll be able to adopt if someone finds out. And they are even more worried that if they hide this info and are able to adopt a child and it comes out later that they are related, any children they have will be taken away. They did not think that whole adoption excuse through. That was their reason.
So it leaves them with the only option to have kids with themselves.
No, don't do that.
I mean, you can always take a kid from the street. It's always running around. Just take the one where the parent isn't paying attention and just take that one.
Yeah, sure.
I know this sounds dark, but sometimes my dark feelings is like a kid will be like walking away from the parent. I'm like, I could take that kid right now.
No, I get you.
Parent wouldn't even know.
It's those thoughts that make you scared for when you are eventually a parent. It's like, my kid could just be snatched right up just like that.
Like, oh, there they go.
Yeah. But don't do that. Oh my God, this is an insane story. I suggested getting a donor for IVF, and they were both concerned that with that option, they'd have even more blood work and cause more problems. That's when Amy dropped the bomb that they are thinking about trying for a child the traditional way. Apparently, I didn't need to say anything because my face said it all. Amy got defensive, saying, "How dare I judge her?" Ben pointed out that I hadn't said anything. I then did say, "What the F?" under my breath, and Clint started laughing. The room became complete chaos. Amy said that I don't understand because I'm an effing baby factory, and then asked if I'd be seen barefoot making breakfast tomorrow. Yikes.
Some people are against the trad wife thing. Some people aren't. It's just
It's just like,
it's a preference thing, Because
that's
my
just
mom,
a weird thing to throw in here, though.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It just shows how jealous she is.
Yeah.
If she wants to be a trad wife.
You don't
maybe, I
understand. Right. You don't understand because you are a baby factory. Calling anyone a baby factory is crazy. Because OP has had 4 kids and then barefoot making breakfast. Oh my God.
That goes like those girls on Instagram.
They're just walking around all barefoot because they're in
Again.
the house making breakfast.
Kidnapping. You can change it up and make it kid-adopting.
Kid-adopting? I don't think so. I don't think that's how it works.
I don't know. You can make it new. I mean, you guys are trying new things right now, so
2 new things. Or not new enough, perhaps.
too many new things here.
I pointed out that if I was, it would be for my children whose parents don't share DNA. Ben said, hey now, let's not say things we don't really mean. Emotions are clearly running high. And then Clint laughed more and said it was hormones that are making me like this and how he wished it was just emotions. And then he asked Amy, are you sure you want to do this to yourself? Look at her. She's a mess. I repeated this, saying, I'm a mess? Are you kidding me? I didn't do this to myself. At that point, Clint winked at me and said he wouldn't have me any other way and kissed me. He's the kind of guy that would rather cut a joke during a tense situation instead of have a serious talk. And honestly, I do love him for this. Okay, so that was all lighthearted and fun.
Okay, good, good.
Then Amy started crying, telling me I don't know how lucky I am. I tried pointing out that I do know how lucky I am, but that having kids comes with a lot of stress, and I worry every time they get sick or hurt. It's stressful, and you wish you could take all of their problems on yourself so they don't have to go through pain or struggles. I then told her, between sobs, that if they had kids, they could be opening up their kids to all kinds of health, developmental, or mental problems. I tried pointing out that some of these issues are things that could end up taking over their lives or worse, give their kids no real life at all. Amy said she would love her child no matter what their problem could be, then claimed that I was trying to be cruel and rub our happy life in her face. That's kind of a crazy thing to say. OP is bringing up preventative issues that could happen to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And not in the kind of sense of like, oh, this is going to be something that you're going to have to deal with. You're going to have to deal with a child that has all these lifelong issues. No. She's bringing that up as like, your child is going to have these issues. Don't you not want that for your child? But Amy is just like, well, I would love my child either way, whatever issues they have. It's like, yeah, but don't you not want them to have these issues that are completely preventable by you not boinking your brother? Come on.
Okay. So, found a loophole. I did a little Google search. When adopting, do the adoptive parents have to have their blood tests checked or their lineage checked to see if they're related? No, adoptive parents generally don't need mandatory blood tests or lineage checks as a part of the standard adoption process. They undergo health screenings, physical background checks for suitability, while DNA tests are usually for adult adoptees seeking biological links. So low-key, the person that's probably going to get, blood tested would be the adopted kid.
Yeah.
So I would lean more on them adopting and being like, they probably won't find out if you guys really want to have kids because it's unfair for them.
Totally unfair.
For Ben and Amy. I don't think they should have
Well-
went through with it. There's still other people in the world.
Yeah. They've just done absolutely no research. They stayed together and decided to get married because they're like, I will adopt. And then after they were looking into it, they were like, oh, wait, maybe we can adopt because of this new information. But they didn't even bother to look, apparently.
I don't know.
That was
They were in
one
love. They
quick-
were in love. Love, overcame everything there.
Nothing should have come anywhere in this story.
God.
I told her I wasn't trying to do anything of the sort, and that if she wanted a family, she should have gotten all the info before getting married so she knew what she was getting herself into. Amy then accused me of only saying that because I was secretly hoping she couldn't marry Ben because I'd always wanted him for myself ever since I dated Ben in college. Ben and Clint both started laughing because the entire idea was just ridiculous. Ben is like my brother. Fake brother. And I'm deeply in love with my husband.
Thanks for clarifying, OP.
Fake brother. Or like your actual brother. One that
Doesn't
you
seem
would
to
not
s-
boink.
Doesn't seem to stop some people.
I guess not. By the way, you should never stop listening to full episodes of stories just like this one, because we've got a lot of crazy ones like this one.
Woo!
On Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever podcast platform you choose. Just search OK Storytime. There is a little bit more to this story, but
Golly, man.
oh my god. This has the most twists and turns I've ever encountered.
I just can't believe I called that.
Yeah.
And that is the
Yeah.
third story
I can't believe you called that either.
in my whole. Oh, this is top 3 right here in OK Storytime
Honestly,
history.
yeah.
Maybe number 2. Number 1 was the Chinese dragon one.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a story where these parents didn't like the oldest kid,
Okay.
and they liked their second oldest kid, and they just like disowned the oldest kid.
Oh, what?
And they said that they were Asian and from like China, I think. And I was like, oh, it's because that second kid was the year of the dragon.
Oh.
Because I'm the year of the dragon.
Uh-huh.
And
And then that happened to be true?
but then I called this one. This is the second best take I've ever had.
Oh my God. That's crazy. After the laughing had subsided, Ben thankfully said there was a lot to think about and unpack, and the best person for them to talk to was a doctor, and not to unload on each other. Then he said that perhaps it was best if everyone went to bed. Amy said she wanted to go home, and after a lot of back and forth between her and Ben about staying and calmly talking tomorrow versus going home and letting this all fester, Amy said she wouldn't stay even if it meant that she walked home. Ben said sorry and took her home, texting to let us know that they were home safe, and Amy was still worked up, but they'd call when things calmed down. That was Friday night. It's now Sunday, and we haven't heard from her, although Ben and Clint are talking like nothing's happened. I've sat down to write several emails, but I just can't get myself to say that I support this option. Am I the a-hole for not being more supportive? And that's the end of that story. I'm going to say no, because it's not even that you were like, oh my God, you guys are disgusting. How could you do this? Like, you were generally supportive of their relationship, just in general, because that's already weird in my opinion. But when it comes to the baby making stuff, you brought up genuine concerns. These are real concerns that everyone should consider if they're considering having a baby with their sibling, half or not. I think your reaction is so valid, and it is okay for your reaction to be shown as much as it was. That's a lot. I think she's having such a defensive reaction because she knows how outlandish this is. And she knows the obvious, like, social, I don't even know what to call it. Taboos? No. She knows the general social opinions against marrying and having babies with your siblings. Any comments over there?
I'm just blown away that this actually happened.
Yeah. This is one of our own.
And living it would be horrible, but also seeing your friend go through this, close friend, I don't know which one's worse. I mean, okay, actually, living through it is the worst option.
I think the reason, like, living through it is definitely the worst option, but hopefully it would go differently if we were living through this. But, like, I think the 1 year thing is really getting me because it's, yes, you've known each other for that long, but, like, just a year of dating is not that hard to come out of. Like, you can still break up and be okay. You know what I mean?
Angie, I disagree with you here because this is completely different. If I ask you to marry me after a year, getting out of that, completely fair. But if I've known you my whole life and I've had secretly feelings for you and you've had secretly feelings for me, and then we date and that's the best year of our lives together, that's a little harder to come back from. They had a lot of time they spent together. And now they're siblings.
I don't like this thought experiment. Well, maybe then you stop dating and you continue your sibling relationship because your siblings you grow up with.
After you already boinked it?
Well, what else can you do? You don't just keep boinking. That's their issue here. Is they're like, well, we already boinked. It's like a lactose intolerant person saying, oh, well, I already had 1 scoop of ice cream. Might as well have 17 more. I'm sure I won't have diarrhea the next day. Or at least I'm bound to have diarrhea, so I might as well make it worse.
They have no consequences, though. The only consequences would be if they had kids, and OP is saying
it's gonna
don't
happen.
have kids.
But
I think they can adopt. I think this loophole is fine.
I mean,
just
they
do
could. It seems like they technically could adopt, but it's just like, guys, does that really not freak you out at all? Does it really not freak you out at all?
Like, for them, if this was my friend and I couldn't do anything for them to get divorced or like whatever,
yeah,
I would say look into adopting. We're gonna go online and look this up right now. Okay, what is the possibility of them actually finding out? You know how much of your life you have to explain to them for the adoption agency to figure that out?
True.
They'd have to know them this closely.
Yeah.
And we're getting this from a best friend.
That is true.
I would just adopt. Guys, would you say adopt? You can't change them being married or getting divorced. They're not going to happen. How would you explain this?
Yeah, you'd have to, I guess, push adoption.
You have to.
That's for the children.
For the children.
For the children.
It's a win-win scenario. The kids get adopted and they're not going to grow up with an extra finger.
It's not a question if you're gonna love them or not if they have some sort of disability because they're a product of incest. It's not about your love for them. It's about them being a product of incest.
You're going to make their lives a million times harder if you have kids the good old natural way. Just adopt. Their lives are going to be hard, but you're in a tough situation and you have to take responsibility of that, sadly.
Okay. Also, this is the end of that story and the end of that episode, but my final thing I will say is that this story was sent in a year ago, it looks like. So if you're watching this, I'm going to need an update.
Please.
I'm going to need an update stat.
Right now. Is there a kid out there?
Is there a kid? Is there a pregnant woman that is one of these people? Or are they adopting? Is there a pregnant woman that they're going to adopt the child from?
Their logic of, we already boinked, we can't change time.
That's crazy. Because then you're still boinking. Before, you were just two people boinking. Now you're brothers and sisters boinking. Before, you were brothers and sisters boinking on accident, but you didn't know. Now you do know. So now you're consciously brothers and sisters boinking.
That's just not fair for them. I get it. That's just not fair for them. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Amy then.
I will agree with that. I am sorry that you guys are brothers and sisters. That really sucks that the love of your life is related to you. That does suck. But that's the end of that story and the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And
see you tomorrow. Yo, don't leave yet. Please don't exit out of this video. We have more stories for you, and I know you got more stuff to do, so hang around.
I'm dumping my boyfriend over his weaponized incompetence.
He's just a silly, goofy, incompetent man.
I, 24 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 27 male, for 2 years long distance. We don't live together, but due to our demanding jobs, we try to see each other at least 3 times a month. Overall, I can say many positive things about our relationship. However, things took a turn a few weeks ago, and I can't seem to forgive him. By the way, this comes from Throw RA Tickets, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. For context, I'm very much a type A person. I need everything planned and to be in order. However, since I'm always planning things, with friends, boyfriend, or at work, I get worn down pretty quickly and it takes a toll on my mood. He, on the other hand, is very laid back and goes through life with a it is what it is attitude. So naturally, it has always been me who's been planning activities, booking places to stay, sightseeing, and holiday all throughout our relationship. A year ago, boyfriend got me tickets for my favorite artist, and I've been excited ever since. I still had to book transportation, hotel, and plan activities though, but I didn't mind as long as we could get to see the artist in time. Spoiler alert, we missed the concert because boyfriend booked the tickets for a different day and we couldn't get a refund. Safe to say, I've never been more disappointed in my life. I still feel physically, emotionally, and financially drained, and that I can't rely on him. I decided we needed to go on a break, and I've been talking with my friends and my therapist about what to do. My therapist said that I'm processing it as a betrayal and a breach of trust. My friends are telling me it's up to me if I want to continue the relationship, but if they were in my shoes, they couldn't trust him with anything ever again. I understand that it's a mistake anyone could have made, and in the end, it's not that serious. He has apologized about 1,000,000 times and feels very sorry about how he let me down. But at the same time, all this pent-up frustration that's inside me keeps reminding me he had one job and still managed to ruin the experience for me. Of course, not everything is black and white. Besides this character flaw, he is a very good boyfriend. Kind, funny, and we have the same opinions on politics, human rights, etc. Basically all the serious life stuff. I can't seem to get over this mistake though. We were planning on getting married and spending the rest of our lives together, yet I don't want to end up being the only one pulling the weight. Advice would be greatly appreciated. There seems to be some confusion regarding booking and tickets. There were 2 concerts. One was happening on the 31st, and second was on the 1st. Boyfriend told me we had tickets for the second concert, so I booked everything in accordance to that. Then on the 1st, he realized we had tickets for the 31st. So the day after we were supposed to attend the concert. Also, only he had access to the tickets. Hope that clears it up a bit. Edit 2. So far, I've seen people from 3 stances in the comments. Break up with him, or I will have to manage him for the rest of my life. Give him a chance with a set of boundaries, or I'm actually neurotic and he should break up with me. I've done some introspection and considering all the facts, uneven mental load, distance, how long we'd still be apart, my reaction, I've drafted a message explaining how I felt, highlighting how much I still care about him. I've also written a few questions to ask him about the future of our relationship. He probably thought a lot about our relationship as well, and if he doesn't want to be with me, I'm not going to force him. I'll ask him probably next week. Not sure if anyone wants an update on that though. Overall, the situation has saddened me and I feel extremely extremely uncertain about my future. We have some relevant comments, but
Yeah, I don't know. If you're long distance and you're not on the same page about basic things or a lot of things, it's gonna
Yeah.
make the distance even worse. And then at that point,
You
what
start
are you in
resenting
it
it.
for?
Yeah. If you're doing long distance, you're looking forward to your partner, and if it's gonna be stressing you out on
Yeah.
top of the stress from long distance,
it shouldn't be.
it
stressful.
shouldn't be stressing you. I mean, long distance is stressful.
We have a downvoted commenter. Is that all it takes for you to not trust him? So things didn't go as planned. So what? You're both alive and able to laugh about it and stick together to fix it. And the first thing that I would do is the therapist is right. You are feeling betrayed, but it happens. He's not betraying you. You feel that way because you talk about him like he has betrayed you. And you never go to your friends for advice unless they are living the life you want, because what do they know? They're not in the same place you are. And if your life is built on planned and organizations, you can get it together with your man, then I'd say your love is on a conditional basis, and that ain't right. Top priority planner. OP replied, I understand that, but as I said, I've been the one planning pretty much everything, and the one time he planned the trip, he couldn't bother checking the exact date for a year, and I still had to book everything without his help. It makes me feel alone, disrespected, and that he doesn't care about me. This planned trip got my hopes up. I made us matching t-shirts and have been talking about it for a year, and in the end, it was all for nothing. Commenter 1 says, I'm kind of confused why you'd book everything without checking the dates of the tickets first. This seems like a bit of an odd hill to end a relationship on, as both are at fault unless I'm missing something. In general, though, if the relationship is making you this frustrated, then you're probably just not compatible anymore, and that's perfectly fine. And OP says, he told me the date, but it wasn't the correct one. He thought we were going to see the artist on the 1st, but we actually had tickets for the 31st. He checked the tickets the day after our supposed concert. Before that, he hadn't checked them for an entire year, yet kept telling me the concert was happening on the 1st. Also, only he had access to the tickets. Hope that makes a bit more sense. And then OP responds to a longer comment regarding if she is really compatible with her boyfriend. Are they on the same page together when it comes to planning dates or holidays? And OP says, thank you for your kind words. I do believe the relationship isn't simply black and white. While being with him, I believe we both grew as people and gave each other strength. I also don't want to dictate everything we do. I'm not some kind of control freak, even if this post might make me out to be one. We had similar issues regarding planning a holiday. I had to choose the destinations, accommodations, search for fun activities we could do that we'd both enjoy, and when asking about his input, I was met with, I don't care as long as we're together, and other, in my opinion, passive comments. I expressed to him jokingly, we can compromise and he is allowed to share his opinion or plan an activity, but I never confronted him head on, so that might have been a mistake on my part. At first, it was attractive to me that he didn't stress about things or out of his control, and I felt grounded by him and more at ease. But this mindset can't be applied in these serious circumstances. Other than that, the relationship's been nice so far, but I feel like this fiasco has shown me I can't really rely on him. I feel disrespected and defeated. I'm very emotional right now and don't want to make a serious decision, hence why I asked for an unbiased opinion. Commenter 2 said, is he laid back at work? Does he forget dates and miss work deadlines? Or is it just with you? And OP responds, I actually have no idea, but his work is very serious and he uses a planner, so I doubt he has problems with the dates at work. In his personal life, I had to remind him of his sister's birthday, even though he has it marked in his planner. I'm starting to think he's bad with dates in general. We have another downvoted commenter. Please free this man so he doesn't have to deal with some neurotic woman he harbors intense bitterness over, an honest mistake to the point she needs to put the relationship on hold. It must be absolute heck being OP mentally. And OP says, I'm not everyone's cup of tea and I know how to let loose. In regards to serious matters like doctor's visits, traveling, or holiday, I want them planned so I minimize possible stressful situations that are out of my control. We've had issues in the past and we communicated about them calmly. It's very bold of you to assume I'm neurotic just because I want to be responsible and actually enjoy the event my boyfriend got me as a gift.
What would be nice in this scenario is if we knew the people, like if we knew of the people or people of the people, so we can kind of understand the dynamics. Because I mean, someone's work life is really stressful and it's really hard to keep up with dates. And like, it's like, oh, what happened to August? We're halfway through. What happened to that?
Yeah, I do think though, like, you can always find time for something to do. Like,
if it's important to you,
right.
Of course.
If this is super important to him and he feels actually really bad about the concert, he should be planning some date to be like, I'm so sorry that I messed that up. Let me. And it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be another trip. It can literally just be like, the next time we hang out, I will plan the weekend.
Yeah,
Like, you've expressed that you're upset. I will plan something.
It seems like he doesn't take any initiative for like anything really, which again, is what we're getting from OP. He even misses his sister's birthday,
Yeah.
which like the guy's bad with dates. He doesn't know, even though he writes it down. He still doesn't know.
Commenter 3. I would ask if I've brought up this issue before and think back on how he's responded. Same with the apologizing. Is it acknowledging the wrongdoing and vocalizing steps to do better? Or is it simply, oops, that's how I am, forgetful and irresponsible? I'd also compare if the go with the flow is the same when it's his thing. Like, if he forgets to do his own things that are important to him, it may be forgetfulness or some ADHD kind of thing. And Opie says, I've brought it up before. Only jokingly, though. Something along the lines of, you can also voice your input or plan something. You don't have to be afraid of me. So that's been a mistake on my part. In regards to apologizing, he said he's sorry and that he effed up multiple times, that he'll fix it. But the artist won't come to our area anytime soon. So for now, I think those are just empty promises. I don't believe he has ADHD, but I'm not ruling it out completely. He also books buses and trains for him, often very last minute. But regarding his trips abroad, he plans everything. Long story short, we broke up amicably. I omitted a lot of details and lied about our personal lives just so I could get truly unbiased opinions. To tell the truth, I'm a med student, got into med school a bit later because, well, life happened. He's just finished law school. At the time of the concert, I had to study for my anatomy final and could not have any distractions. But I told myself that the concert would be a treat to myself during this tough period. We had arrived at his friend's place where we'd be staying, and to be honest, I've never felt so unwelcomed and out of place in my entire life. Me, my boyfriend, let's call him Jim, his friend Jane, and her boyfriend John decided to go to a restaurant in the evening. And Jane basically didn't acknowledge me for the entire evening. Every time Jim had to leave the table, Jane would turn to John and pretend I wasn't there. I then heard her say that after dinner, she'd like to go get something cheap and sweet to eat, to which I proposed a certain shop in the city we were in. Jane replied that it smelled there. After asking her how did the shop smell, she looked me in the eyes, laughed, and said it smelled like poor people. When Jim returned, I took him inside and told him what Jane had said to me, to which he just laughed. For the rest of the evening, it was clear I was sticking out from the group because the conversation topics were about things I had no knowledge about, so I couldn't participate in them.
And they intentionally made it about that. Because, I mean, you've been in group settings where you know what you can talk about and usually to clue people in.
Yeah.
Or
They
you could
give you no context.
Or you correlate, you're like, oh, like when Carly met Sophia, you guys like musicals.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Friends. Something. Just something. Like, oh, you guys like food? What's your favorite food?
So I sat in silence until we came back to Jane's flat. I then cried in the shower. I felt completely useless, like the evening would have gone exactly the same whether I was there or not. The next day, the ticket incident happened. Jim checked the tickets and realized he booked them for the day before. I tried to get the tickets and was contacted by a scammer and got scammed around 80 euros. I already talked to police, but they put the investigation on hold. During this time, Jim kept repeating how stupid he was and that he would fix everything, just didn't know how. The artist won't come to our country anytime soon, by the way. Jim also never said how he would prevent similar mistakes from happening again. After that, I didn't speak to him for almost 2 weeks and took to Reddit. In the end, I decided to give him one last chance and said probably both of us should work on our communication. He said he didn't expect me to give him another chance, didn't know how to react. So he thought it over for 12 plus hours and didn't contact me. During this time, I kind of emotionally accepted that he didn't want to be with me anymore. The next day, Jim agreed to give it another try, but the excuses started. He kept telling me he would be jobless during the summer, money would be tight, we wouldn't be able to travel anywhere, that I should enjoy my summer, etc. To me, it sounded like he wanted an out, but didn't want to be the bad guy and propose the breakup. Come to find out, he wasn't as broke as he was telling me, because he attended a film and music festival. Doing the math, he probably spent around £300. So I messaged him that I'm tired. He didn't even say sorry after Jane insulted me, and I didn't see him making any effort in planning our future and owning up to his mistakes. We wished each other well. We would be open to communication if we ever crossed paths again, and I now feel like somebody close to me passed away. Rationally, I know I did the right thing, but I've never broken up with anybody amicably before, and grieving this relationship is extremely hard on me. Thank you all for reading. Take care. By the way, you can always take care to listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, your favorite podcast app, and search OK Storytime. Commenter 1. Breakups suck, even when they're the right decision. Let yourself grieve the future you wanted. Cry. Watch movies that make you cry more. It will get easier. I hope your finals went well. And OP says, yes, thankfully I passed. Thank you for your kind words. Commenter 2, breakups always suck, but you definitely did the right thing. Anyone who would laugh at Jane saying the place you suggested smells like poor people is not someone you want to build a life with. OP responds, I don't want to indulge in this whole classism thing, but to be honest, Jim comes from a worse financial situation than me. Jane has generational wealth, and I think he didn't confront her because he would lose access to the perks of being her friend. After thinking about that moment so many times, I couldn't come up with any other explanation. And OP responds to a longer comment regarding the future of her relationship with Jim. OP says, I told him I needed to think about the future of our relationship and we should limit contact. Both of us had finals coming up, and to be honest, I didn't want any distractions. We exchanged a few texts, wished each other a good luck on our exams, but we were not on speaking terms as before. It wasn't intended as a punishment, but a deep thinking about all the emotionally draining things that had happened in such a short time. Looking back, I know I should have done things differently, so I'll keep it in mind moving forward. And someone asks, are OP and Jim different nationalities? OP says, we're the same nationality, but I study in a neighboring country. If either one of us want to visit the other, it would take 2.5 to 3 hours of travel. Comment 1, I am the tickets boss in my relationship, while boyfriend is the traveler czar. And this situation is just avoidable. Ticketmaster/Live Nation will add your ticket date and time automatically to your Google or phone calendar. Every time he asks, when is blank again? I pull up the app and check, even if I know it by heart. I send screenshots after buying. This sounds like a lot of work, but it's probably 3 minutes total of my life. Alone, it's obviously not breakup worthy, but as a pattern, which it seems to be, I'd break up too. Comment 2 says, oh, so the guy uses a planner at work because he works in a law firm where deadlines are crucial and obviously does fine. But at home, he cannot even remember his own sister's birthday? Yes, I take weaponized incompetence for 500, Alex, and that really doesn't exclude him just innocently messing up the date. He just got too used to it.
That's a wrap on that.
My girlfriend is getting married to someone else, and I'm going to intervene.
I don't think she's your girlfriend, bud.
I am 29 male, and I met someone, 27 female, in November 2023. We were from the same school, same class, but we were friends at school. She stayed at Whaler, and I, after 12th, moved to Delhi. Now there was a reunion of my school. 10 to 15 people came, and I was really nostalgic. I have gotten work from home, so I have some free time now. I followed her and replied to her story. By the way, this comes from user coolprompt4955, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. It was nice, gentle, and very respectful. We connected instantly. Similar movie or show interests, similar expectations from the government, similar life expectations, similar sports interests. When I go in, I go all in. So talking and talking, we got close. At her home, their family was looking for marriage. At my home, I got some rishtas, and I am terrified of marrying a stranger, and I am an average-looking guy, so I can't rely on love to find me. She was a contractual teacher at a school. After school, we went to a movie, coffee, kind of like a date. My first date. It was magical. She was magical. She lied at her home to meet me. I started to like her. She was pretty. I could never get a girl that beautiful and with everything else similar or to my interest. I was glad. I said to her straight away that I really like you. Like really, really like you. And you are the one I was looking for all this time. Then she told me that we have the same gotra. Both are Brahmin. I am from Uttar Pradesh. She is from Madhya Pradesh. My father had a job. That's why I stayed in MP for 20 plus years. And her father won't allow a love marriage. My family's very good and supportive, so I never imagined how anyone can run over her daughter's happiness. I thought we would meet and things would work out. I said all this to her, and she said, I know nothing will happen for us as her father is very rigid, orthodox, and short-tempered. I said, we will see about that. I consulted multiple pandits for this, got to a conclusion that yes, it is possible. It happens in society. Not going to get into details. I was talking to her like we used to, but we started to get closer. We went to another movie. She didn't express her love or feelings for me. We tried to meet every chance she got. One day she came out to get some groceries and then the entire area was blackout due to some fault. We met and I hugged her. She was shivering. My heart was pounding. It was the best moment of my life. Then at night, she told me that yes, she loves me, but she has a past. She had a boyfriend earlier who she was physical with. I told her, that's all right. We all make mistakes, and I accepted her. Now we are meeting daily after her school. Once we got an opportunity to meet at my home, we had 10 minutes time. We kissed. It was the first time for me. I was happy that I found the love of my life. I was on the moon. We had video calls every night, text, and audio calls all day. She told me about her past. Her first boyfriend was in class 12, so I don't count that. After that, 6 to 8 months before meeting me, she met a friend of her cousin, approved by her father. She put her all into this specific person, crossed all boundaries for him. Then she got to know that he already had a school sweetheart, whom he had promised marriage. She asked him to choose one, her or the marriage. He didn't choose her. At that point, she felt rejected. Not enough for anyone. Full of self-doubt, crying all day. 6 to 8 months later, this is where I jumped in. She always held back in my case, never putting her 100% in so that I wouldn't get hope she would fight someday. She told me at some point, if I ever love someone too much, I will run from here. Her family's close-knit. She has an elder sister. She's the boldest in the family. Everybody else accepts what the father says. But she never took a stand for her, ever. I told her this is the most important part of my life. You can take a stand. And she told me that they will say so many bad things, and there will be chaos all around. Drama. Her freedom snatched away. She said she can't. Then her father pressured her for one rishta. I've been living in panic and anxiety for a year now. It got canceled by God's grace. 2 to 5 rishtas would be put down in the future. Then she planned for the first time to go alone to Bhopal to visit her cousin. Her father obviously didn't allow it. She left food and locked herself in a room. Her uncle gave permission, and her father reluctantly agreed. I also tagged along. Her cousin, female, herself is in love with a friend who got married, but she's still in contact with him. No one told my girl that this is a good guy. He is doing everything. You should at least try to fight once. It's better than regret.
Have you guys actually established that you're boyfriend, girlfriend? Has she called you her boyfriend?
Yeah, does she know that
Does she know
she's
you're
your
dating?
girlfriend?
You guys talked about it, right?
Have you been introduced in her family? For her, people's opinions who are close to her matter. Instead, she was told by her cousin that she was doing wrong to this guy and clearly can't fight and win this. So my girl, on the 1st of January 2025, on our way back in the train, told me that she doesn't love me. It was a mistake. She was broken and she needed healing. And being around me was soothing, but it wasn't love. I was torn to pieces, but she kept in contact as a friend, breaking the bond slowly, fading away slowly. Her marriage was about to be fixed. I told my family. My dad consulted a pandit and said it is possible. Let's visit them. But she wouldn't allow it. That rishta got delayed due to some things. We approached via shadi.com. I told my father and mother to lie about Gotra, that our ancestors settled in XYZ Brahmin village, but we have a different Gotra, ABC, than yours. We just write your surname. It is common in UP. It is called, I can't read that. My mom and dad were reluctant, but they did all this just for me. Her father visited our home. He was impressed, but had 3 doubts. Who will verify in UP? Different Gotra thing. Never heard of it. And the boy doesn't have a government job. He said if there was only one issue, he would have considered it. He said, why to consider it as they are getting other rishtas that fulfill all their checklists? He said, it cannot be done. After all this, my girl told me that if we could put everything on hold for 1 more year, there's a chance her father would consider me. I was full of joy. I stayed with her, but I was a stranger and had to build things up again. I helped her with schoolwork, stayed with her even after the coldness. Then her teacher government exam came. I was with her, helping with studying, preparation, test series, etc. I put my full efforts so that she could clear it and get out of there. There were 0 efforts from family. They were like, she can't do it. We already know it. But her exam went well. Her father then put extreme pressure to marry the guy that was on hold. She stopped talking to her father for 3 months. Her mother and sister also took her father's side. She was all alone, but she had me. We grew closer again. She told me, I don't love you was just to push me away so I could be saved from all of this. We were really close. And she said to me, I don't know when this will all end, but I will walk with you as long as I can. At this point, from all the ups and downs, I was numb inside. Her father hugged her, and all that resolved in a second. We had some unnecessary arguments that made her lose the peace she felt with me. I started patching things up. But now another rishta came. This person was approved by her father, and their family is open-minded like ours. The boy is good, and she said yes to it, saying, this is my best option, and whatever I do, my family will allow me to be alone rather than marry you. And I can't leave my family. It came as a shock to me. She said, I love you. I tried my best, put down 5 to 6 rishtas, sent my father to your home, but I don't have energy to fight any longer. I really love this girl, put all my power into making things work, visited every major temple in hope of a miracle. Now she is getting married on my birthday in November 2025. I'm getting torn inside and I am passing away every second. I don't know what to do. I want her. It was the first time anyone loved me for who I was. I don't want to live life being passed away from the inside. Any suggestions, thoughts, support is all I seek. I don't know how to be with myself, and I still have some hope of a miracle, but it is fading day by day. There's an update. I'm going to her home and telling her father all the truth and requesting him. Is this something I should do? No.
Nope.
No. Stop. She already found someone that she's like, that is
Yeah.
who I want, and that's like what my family is okay with.
I'm good. I want
good.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to give up my family for this. Yeah.
And we have some comments. Comment number 1. She doesn't want to marry you. Do you really think going to her father and effing up the arrangement is something she wants? Or is at least willing to go ahead with? To keep him happy will make her fall back in love with you? Assuming it ever really was love and not just her being flattered by your attention, there's someone else out there who won't be this much work or drama. But you're not going to find her if you keep chasing after this lost cause. Let her go. OP. She said she wants to, but with her parents' blessings. It's a facade. It was a nice thing to just be like, my parents won't let me marry you. She doesn't want to say no and tell you flat out because she doesn't want to be mean.
And also, like, yeah, she dated you for a little bit, but she always told you this is how things are done in my family.
Yeah.
This is how things are done. This has a limit.
She's tired of fighting with her family to deny any incoming Rishtas. She will if her family says yes, but she doesn't have the courage and energy to fight for this time. That's a lot of words that still ultimately add up to you need to look at what she's doing or not doing, not the part where she's trying to protect your feelings or keep you around for emotional support or whatever's prompting her to stay in touch, despite being months away from marrying someone else. Again, if she doesn't want this enough to deal with her dad, you going over her head will not result in the outcome you want. Move on. Comment number 2. Give up. She doesn't really love you, and what you feel is closer to infatuation than love. You're pursuing an ideal and feel desperate. The way you speak about yourself isn't the one of a man with enough self-esteem. You better move on and work on yourself instead of chasing for a woman who at best sees you as a second option. I know these are hard truths, but you need to have hard truths to realize what's going on.
Right.
Because
You also risk a lot of her own, like, family life and, like, even probably her potential actual, like, upcoming marriage if you go out to her. Like, you are hurting her when you're saying that you love her. Like you said, if you really loved her this much, you would just let her do what she needs to do and leave.
just focus on yourself, what the comments said. Do not intervene in this marriage. You've tried 1,000%, not 100, 1,000%. She has done the bare minimum, and she keeping you like a little puppy.
I don't know. I feel like she tried as much as she could and she was pretty open, but there is there is a lot of rules against women getting
That's
to pick
very
their
true.
own marriages.
But
there.
it just seems like he loves the attention from OP.
I think that she should have left it at the first time of like, I don't love you, this is what I'm telling
She
you to
was
get
going
you away.
through, like,
But then
5 to
her
6
father supposedly came back and was like, I would consider it. Then she tried to give it some hope to it, but it's a lot, but ultimately like, dude, like, move on.